The three main male characters are mostly unchanged. While he's called by his first name in the Tokyo Pop version, in the Kodansha version, Messiah is called by his last name, Aoyama, by all the characters. He refers to Ichigo as Momomiya's son in the first volume and starts calling her by her first name near the end of the first chapter in volume 2. Like with the original, the Kodansha version has Keiichiro refer to everyone with san, except for Ryo. Other than that, he hasn't changed much. And Ryo is mostly unchanged between the two versions, but he's noticeably a bit meaner in the Tokyo Pop version. Let's take this particular page in volume 2 of him talking to Ichigo as an example of his difference in attitude.
I'm giving you the R2000. He can do a lot more than recover aliens. He'll help you out. And prevent a lot of screw-ups.
How dare you!
R2000 is yours. It has other functions besides collecting aliens. It should come in handy. Show me what you can do with it.
What? Like you should talk.
Masha in both versions is named after Messiah, but the Kodansha version is more accurate in translation on why Ichigo decided to give him that name. While the original Japanese version of the manga and anime call Masha a he, Tokyo Pop couldn't decide if Masha was a boy or a girl, and Kodansha refers to Masha as it. While Masha speaks in broken sentences in the anime, he only talks in the manga when he's repeating something someone else says. In Tokyo Pop, his sounds are translated as tweet, while in Kodansha, it's peep. Just like with the Tokyo Pop version, Kodansha also spells Keisha's name as Kish. Why? Judging by the other aliens, Pai, Tart, and Gateau de Roi, his name was supposed to be spelled as Quiche, as in the food! I mean, look at this! I typed in the Japanese spelling of Keisha's name on the Google image search and look what came up. Quiche! I mean, come on! Even the French and their backwards manga releasing ways at least knew that his name didn't start with a K. My only guess is that they both did it so younger readers would know how to pronounce his name. Oh well, I guess as long as people figure out what his name means, it shouldn't matter, as long as it's pronounced the same. Since Pai and Tart won't appear until Volume 3, their comparisons will have to wait until the second omnibus comes out this December. In terms of translation accuracy, the Kodansha version is more accurate to the original Japanese version, which has its ups and downs. On the downside, some of the Kodansha translation comes off as unnatural sounding when spoken. The most jarring is when Ichigo says, "Now's the chance," when looking for Mint's Mew mark. There's one slight mistranslation. Instead of Chimera Anima, Kodansha translated it as Chimera Animal, which is kind of funny since fan subs mistranslated it the exact same way as well. But it's nowhere near as big of a flub as what Tokyo Pop did by saying that the first word was Kirima. Kirima's not even a word. There are a couple of typos and some apostrophes are missing when there is huge bold text, although I think it's more of a font issue since it only happened when that particular font was shown. Despite that, its faults are nowhere compared to Tokyo Pop's version, which had a bunch of slang, mistranslations, small text not having translations at all, and there were quite a few times when the lines the characters said were in the wrong speech bubbles. Tokyo Pop also had everyone on a first-name basis, which took out a small plot point in the first chapter of Volume 2. Due to it, they had to rewrite what Mint says to Ichigo after their fight with Quiche. Another interesting thing is that while both versions of the manga keep the sound effects in Japanese, Kodansha actually puts small translations next to them so you know what they mean. When it came to Japanese terms, Tokyo Pop localized them, such as calling Tsuchinoko Bigfoot, calling Niguri Meshi rice balls, and calling yokai ghost. Kodansha keeps the Japanese terms and explains most of them in the translator notes in the back of the book. Also, while Tokyo Pop gave the manga a youth rating, the Kodansha version gave it a teen rating, despite there not being any cursing in either version. The jokes in the Kodansha version are slightly more mature, and there are some that young readers might not understand, but there's nothing really offensive. In fact, some jokes in the Kodansha version made me laugh more. In the first volume, when Ichigo at first refuses to work with Mint, but suddenly changes her mind when she finds out how much he's going to get paid, compare Mint's reaction between the Tokyo Pop version and the Kodansha version.
You spoiled brat! I refuse to work with you!
It pays $10 per hour.
$10! $10! $10! $10! Welcome to Cafe Mew Mew!
Witness the power of money.
What new experience? I won't work with you!
1,000 yen per hour.
1,000 yen! 1,000 yen! 1,000 yen! Welcome to Cafe Mew Mew! Come on in!
This is why I don't like the poor.
This next scene is from the first chapter of Volume 2. Now compare Keisha's reaction between both versions when he finds out that there are more girls besides Ichigo interfering with his plans.
Wow, there are so many of them. So many choices.
Both English translated manga have the extras from the original, such as messages from the author, side panel extras, and the red data animal files translated. But in the Tokyo Pop version, one extra showing all of the staff involved in making the manga was not included. The Kodansha version translated this along with all the other extras in the first 2 volumes. One little thing that personally jarred on me was Enrico Yoshida's panel saying that she was involved in digital monsters. Come on! Is it that hard to say Digimon? But that's just a personal beef since Digimon was what got me into anime, so it's just my opinion. So in conclusion, the new Kodansha manga translation, while having a couple of awkward lines, is a better translation overall and has cleaner pages and better editing. I'm sure you're asking,
What if I already have all the Tokyo Pop manga? Is it worth it to buy the new Kodansha version?
the answer is a definite yes. Now that you fans are older, you'll appreciate the original jokes more and relive your childhood at the same time. I personally enjoyed reading it and I'm definitely buying the second omnibus when it comes out. And now you ask,
Then what will I do with my old manga?
well, if you're a collector, keep them as part of your current collection. If you have any younger siblings or any kids who like to read those kinds of stories and can appreciate the totally radical dialogue, you can give it to them and hopefully they'll get into it too. And then they'll get into other anime and manga later on. For my overall score on a scale of 1 to 10, when comparing it to the original Japanese version, Tokyo Pop's version gets a 7, while Kodansha's version gets a 9. So if you don't have a copy of the omnibus,
Get it now!
Now before I go, there's one thing I noticed when I started rereading the manga. Is it just me, or does the main editor of the manga staff look like a certain tall, slender man that